Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lead with Curiosity. I am your host, Anthony Donovan, and we are rejoined for a second episode with Marnie Wills. Marnie is an AI strategist, and this really builds on the previous episodes, but if you've not listened to that yet, do go back and give it a listen. In this episode, we're going to really get stuck into some of the practical ways in which we can use AI to save time, to make us more productive, more creative, and really to make AI work for you. So enjoy the episode. Marnie, welcome back.
It's
Thanks,
so good.
Thanks for coming back. We talked a lot in the last episode, for those that haven't had the opportunity to listen or watch it, about what AI is. You clarified some of the terminology and how we can embrace AI. I'd like to get into a little bit more around the use of AI. And I'd like to start with an analogy based on something you shared with me, actually, if I can. So I was coaching somebody recently who is at capacity, team at capacity, and we talked about delegation. And like a lot of people that struggle with delegation, who do I delegate to? And I said, well, what if I said to you that you could have your own executive assistant? They're going to work 24/7, no holidays. They don't answer back. Two caveats. Number one, it's going to cost you a grand sum of £300 a year. And number two, you're going to have to train and onboard. The response was, when do I start?
Gosh, amazing.
And of course, that's the reality. That's something that you helped me with. And perhaps, if you don't mind, would you mind sharing a little bit about how you and I worked together and the process that you took me through when I reached out to say, I think I want to use AI. I'm sort of on board with the idea, but I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah. So I think we started with customizing your AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved you a little bit, in quite a short amount of time, we moved you from like an AI user to an AI builder.
Okay.
And I think what can maybe help the audience understand a little bit is an analogy that I've been using recently called the doctor analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us to imagine that we have opened up, let's go with ChatGPT. So we've opened up ChatGPT and we just go to new chat and we start chatting away. Now, obviously, it's artificial intelligence. It's very smart. It can do a lot of things for us. However, I say it's like going to a GP. You go to a GP, a general practitioner, for general doctor, probably advice. And it has memory from the system of the conversations you've had with it, and it can mainly go away and maybe research a few things, but it doesn't really have a specialist, right? So therefore, say I have a knee injury, I'm going to go to the GP, and the GP is going to send me to a consultant. And that's what we want to do in our AI. So we want to go from a general chat to creating a project. If you're in ChatGPT, if you're in Copilot, it's called an agent. If you're in Gemini, it's called a gem. The concept is it becomes your coworker, it becomes your AI coworker, your AI assistant. And just like a consultant, it has extra knowledge base. And it has like instructions to be an expert consultant for knee injuries, right? So it's that next level, GP to consultant. It's the same in our AI model. We go from chat to creating our own AI coworker that we give some knowledge base to and we give instructions to. And then that way, you can then always go to that coworker for that specific type of workflow or job role or, collaborative element that you need. And then we've also gone one more step. So say I've got my knee injury and I need an operation. It's the surgeon that does the operation.
Okay. Not just the consultant.
It's not just the consultant, it's the surgeon. And in AI terms, that's something called an agent. So an agent has the ability to do an autonomous task for you, has the ability to go off and complete a task. It is completely different to having a conversation and getting back writing. So there's many types of agents in the AI world. The most basic could be in your ChatGPT account using deep research, which is an agent that has the ability to go off, scrape a whole lot of information off the website, come back and give you a report. There could be an agent that can go away and can read all of your emails, maybe some other software you've connected, and then come back and give you a report.
Okay. So when I think back to when we first started working together, one of your first questions to me was, what are the tasks that you're doing that are taking up a lot of your time that you would prefer not to be doing? And by the way, if you could have X number of hours back, what would you use that time for? And I think that comes back to the human element, right? Because that would free up my time to speak with with clients and so on. That deep research thing was interesting. Tell everybody a little bit about what you had me do for that process, that training, because you sent me effectively a questionnaire. I felt like I was writing an autobiography, but I'll let you explain.
Oh gosh, I actually can't remember what we've done.
Can you not?
No,
Okay.
'cause
Shall I
I've done
refresh
a
your
lot.
memory?
Yes,
Okay. I'm
please,
clearly
sorry.
not that special or memorable.
Oh no, I
No,
didn't
it's
mean it
fine.
like that.
Not at all. So you sent me a list of questions and you essentially asked it to interview me. So it was essentially, what are your key principles? What are your values? And I mean, you mentioned a report. This thing spat out, I've obviously still got them, about 20 different documents, reports about my voice, my brand,
Yes, I remember.
my ethos. There were things about my company even I didn't know. Okay. So it was that in itself was quite a cathartic exercise. So I had all this. I won't lie to you. I didn't really know where we were going with that. And then you said, don't you worry, I'm going to come and see you. So talk us through the next stage. Hopefully you can remember that conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so what we actually did was some deep research, and the deep research agent has the ability to go off and scrape. It's basically the digital footprint, what can be found out there on the internet. And it has the ability to then come back and analyze all of that information and give almost like a business DNA document.
Yeah.
And it's that business DNA document that becomes really important because you can use that to train an AI coworker, right? Or an agent if that's where we end up going. And remember when I said in the previous episode around hybrid data, which is human to AI conversations, what the AI has gone and done in this circumstance is created you synthetic data. So it's gone and found information that's out there already in synthetic
So
data.
purely online.
Purely online, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And so they're pieces of data. But when you're training an AI, you actually need two more. And the first one is raw data, which is human-to-human conversation. So this podcast that we're creating now is raw data because we're having human conversations. And I know we've chatted a lot about keeping the human in the loop and the human element to what we do. And raw data is so important for that. And I think we need to keep producing this raw data as much as we can. But the key is to record it. So record those conversations. If there's any advice I'm giving any business, it's start recording all your conversations, not from the negative point of view of, oh, I recorded that and look back, just from the fact that you're training your AI and your company's AI on how the humans are talking and interacting as one of the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would almost be like a new starter joining a business, sitting in an open plan office, effectively absorbing themselves with the way things work, how people talk, how people operate, how things work. I'm not going to get into the hybrid working from home debate. That's a whole different conversation. But essentially, this is a training, this is an onboarding process. Is that a fair way
So
of looking
record
at
your
it?
meetings, in-house, external as well. Have a expert in your team or somebody in your team every month, every 2 months, interview themselves, about some tasks that they've done, some goals they've got coming up, some things that they want to progress forward, or just get into a habit of starting to record conversations. So I do it quite a lot. I use an app called VoicePan, and I might just brain dump something that I needed to do, or maybe even brain dump how I'm going to do a project. And that becomes that raw data that then I can feed the AI, because it's important for the AI to learn how I'm thinking as well. So just get into a habit of using this raw data to train our AI. And then the last bit of data that's worth noting is real data, which is what we've written.
Okay.
So what we've typed, right? So your original emails, maybe some original posts that you've written. The caveat to that is I'm not sure that within 3 to 5 years there's going to be a lot of real data written. It's going to be raw data, which is listening, and I'm going to tell you about the keyboard because I think that's really important. So it's going to be raw data. It's going to be hybrid data. If you think about a year ago, how much you were writing on your own versus how much you're writing with your AI, which is hybrid data.
Okay.
So that real data is really going to be mixed in a little bit. But coming back to the voice, there's some predictions out there that the keyboard is not going to exist in the next 5 years.
In the next 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to do everything via voice?
Correct.
Okay. You heard it here first. Here first, folks. Easy for me to say.
Let's look back in 2030, will probably when there'll be mass adoption of voice over typing.
Okay. So I've created all this data from various sources. I'm essentially got all these documents. In terms of then creating a project, an agent to do a specific task, let's say, for example, I wanted to do one around writing blog articles. What would the next step be? How would I then create that on AI?
Step by step?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just at a high level.
Okay. I actually do have a free resource on this, so we can put it in the show notes.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing is you go into your large language model. Let's use ChatGPT as an example. You go to new project. You name your project. So if you said it was marketing, maybe it becomes your marketing strategist.
Okay.
And in that marketing strategist, you go to, it's called sources or knowledge, and then you upload a whole lot of knowledge base. And that is the raw, real, hybrid and synthetic data or anything.
So all those reports that you created through the questionnaire effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And the way to think about that is, I say this all the time, if I'm coming to work with you and I sit down beside you and you've given me, I'm your new marketing strategist, but I'm your marketing strategist intern until I know about your business. I'm your intern. Once I know more about your business and once we've had some conversations, I progress to your executive. But I'm your intern. I'm sitting here. What information are you going to give me so I can be your marketing strategist intern?
Okay.
Like, that is what you need to think. You need to think, what does this AI need to be able to do the role for me or my business or my department or whatever?
Okay.
What does it actually need? That's the knowledge base. And then we need to give it some custom instructions. But I don't like to write the custom instructions as a human, because although we are amazing humans, we actually aren't as smart as the AI. And therefore, the way that we're going to communicate the instructions are not going to be anywhere near the depth that we need for it to be able to do. So we do something called meta prompting.
Okay. Talk to me about meta prompting.
So we go into a chat inside that project that we've created, and we simply have a conversation and say, I would like some help writing custom instructions for this project using the knowledge base and asking me clarifying questions. Help me write these instructions. These are the 3 tasks or workflows I think I want you to help me with: blog writing, marketing strategy or monthly plan, and maybe LinkedIn page, right? What else can you help me with?
So you can ask it to suggest what else?
100%. Yeah. Because otherwise, we're not getting the full potential of the AI, because we're just saying, we want this, give us that back. Whereas if we say, this is what we want, but actually we're really open and curious to what else you can do for us. And then you have a conversation back and forth. You'll get asked some questions. You'll get suggestions on what else the marketing strategist can help you with. And your mind will be blown. You'll be like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And you'll also have an opportunity to make sure that the AI has extracted the right knowledge from the knowledge base. And then you'll go, perfect, thank you so much. Can you write these custom instructions for me? It will write it. You copy it. You go back into the project settings, you add it to the instructions.
So for the settings, if I remember using ChatGPT, there's like 3 dots, isn't there?
Yeah, 3
so
dots.
You just click on the settings and then copy and paste that in.
And
what I found, like any new starter, is, I won't lie, the first couple of times I used it, was it perfect? No, of course it wasn't. And I can see you kind of agreeing.
Yeah.
But it remembers and picks up. And like any new starter, it starts to get a bit more comfortable and progressing, as you say, to that executive status.
And that's really important to note, because that's called fine tuning.
Okay.
And when we're in our large language models, so we're in ChatGPT, and we're in that project status, so that we're within that consultant type level, we're able to fine tune our AI, because we can go in and change the instructions if we need. So one of my monthly tasks is, it's the first of every month, it comes up in my calendar. It's a 20-minute task, and it's called Fine Tune Your AI. And I have probably about seven co-workers in one AI model and probably about another 5 in the other. And all I go in and I say in the conversation, what conversations or chats have we had recently that will allude to us changing the custom instructions.
So you're essentially having a team meeting with your co-workers?
Yeah, and it's in the diary and then it comes up. But that's really important, because when people are going and creating intellectual property tools like the AI tools we've discussed, and we've talked, and I know you talk a lot to your clients around using the prompt engineer GPT.
Yeah.
And I don't want to confuse or lose anybody, but it is really important that when you're inside your large language model working with your coworker, you are constantly fine-tuning your AI. When you go and create an intellectual property tool or you use a GPT, there's no fine-tuning going on. It's static information. Does that make sense?
I think so. So you essentially have to prompt it to think about what else it should be thinking around. Is that correct?
Yeah, it will only do the current knowledge base and the instructions. It won't learn from any chats you've had. So it won't learn from itself.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really important distinction, because the AIs that we create aren't all equal. They can't all do the same thing.
I've never heard you refer to it or ever called it co-worker before, but that crystallizes it, because there's so much respectfully different jargon. Is it an agent? Is it a project? Is it whatever? But thinking of it as a co-worker, that analogy of having a team meeting. And on the very first episode of this podcast, we sat down with Matt Brown, who's the founder of a company called Enfuse. And if anybody hasn't listened to it yet, he gives a really great example of how he's using two co-workers. He's given them a name, he's given them an avatar, and they're very specific tasks that they do, and they are literally considered as one of the team.
Yeah.
So seeing it in action.
It's amazing.
Okay.
And I think some of the more entrepreneurial companies are really moving to encouraging the team to have roughly 5 individual in the team, not even the department, have 5 individual co-workers that maybe have some agentic features, so have that agent capability, but having at least 5 each.
So in my analogy of having one executive assistant, you're actually suggesting 5?
Yeah.
Okay. On that, I touched on this with Matt, but I'd love to get your thoughts as well. How would you go about as a leader? Let's say I'm really into this, but then there's the concern around, well, hang on, is it going to take my job, and that side? How would you go about introducing this to a team in a way that's ethical, but is also reassuring?
I've literally had this conversation almost every day in the last month, because it's such a hot topic. As a leader, I would say a couple of things. The first thing would be the importance of highlighting that you and the company are trying to increase the capability of them, the human, that you're trying to increase the capability of what they can do. So that's really, really important. It's not, I'm trying to create an AI that can do what you do. And yes, the AI will probably end up doing what they do. However, the AI can never always do what they do. You always need to keep a human in the loop. And you always need a human to retrain that AI. You always need the human to create new AI workflows. We always need the human. So the shift and the language shift has to be, we are creating the ability for you as the human to be more capable in your role with the help of AI, to collaborate with an AI. And it's that shift change there.
Right, okay.
And then the second thing is around like being really transparent and talking about the fact that, yes, your job description is going to change. What you do right now will change, and it will change more likely around just including the fact that you're creating and building AI workflows to do your role. And like I said, we're already going forward. This is in the last episode, within 4 years, there's going to be ridiculous amount of new jobs created. So is it that I've got my job role now and my job role actually changes to something else? My job title changes to something else. Doesn't mean I don't have a job.
Right. It's just going to adapt and change.
Yeah.
And I guess depending on your mindset, that could either terrify you or really excite you.
Yeah, and the corporate companies that jumped on the bandwagon early and reduced headcount or kept headcount static, they're not seeing the results right now. They're not seeing the ROI because they haven't realized that this technology, it is massively amazing and super capable, but it's only as capable as the humans using it. Right. So the answer is not to get rid of any staff, is not to stop the humans. It's to make the humans more capable, to make the business more capable, have more capacity. Those businesses that are doubling down on each of the humans having more capacity are the ones winning. And they're the ones that are ahead of the game in the industry. They're creating new products and services.
And from a leadership point of view, circling back to the conversation I had with the individual I was coaching, one of the things that frustrated them was they didn't have enough time for one-to-ones. They felt they were playing catch-up. So by freeing up their time, respectfully, having a one-to-one with a team member a physical team member, talking about future planning, all that stuff, coaching, an AI is not going to do that. I mean, you may beg to differ and say they would.
Well, you can collaborate with an AI on that because you can record the conversation. And then when you're doing like a weekly check-in, you go into your project manager AI coworker that has the details of the staff member that you were doing the one-to-one to. And you say, I'm just about to check in with this staff member. Remind me of the top 3 things that they said and give me the 2 personal elements that they brought in.
Okay.
So then when you go and you meet, you go, oh, how was the graduation that you went to? You know, what about that holiday? Like us humans, we want to be seen and heard. And if my line manager or my leader in the businesses forgets that I just had a massive graduation or went on an amazing holiday, I'm gutted.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm just reflecting on a time when in my earlier days in recruitment, one of our senior directors came into the office unexpectedly to see us, cue panic and terror, and approached me and specifically asked me about my football team's result at the weekend. And I was so blown away. And then later on, someone said, yeah, their PA's basically got a little black book, and next to each person's name with 3 facts. Yeah. And a part of me was heartbroken that it clearly wasn't that memorable. But in all joking aside, it personalised that. So really, again, it's enabling the human to do the human stuff really well.
Yeah. And so we should.
Okay.
Because we want to respect the humans we work with, and the way to do that is to really listen to them. And sometimes we've got so much going on in our head, we can't always listen to the intentiveness that we want to. So we just create an AI that helps us do that.
Okay. So really anyone listening to this should be using an AI tool to record it and then ask it to bring out the top 3 tips that they're going to implement and use, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. Note to self. You work with lots of different businesses, different entrepreneurs. I appreciate you can't share confidential information, but I'm curious, have you got any examples to inspire anybody listening or watching of what people are doing out there to use AI?
Yeah, I mean, I've got loads.
Give me your top 3.
Okay, my top 3. Well, this morning I was working with a publishing company, and he is creating a new publishing line. It's in the education field. And we were able to take his SME content. So SME in their world stands for subject matter expert. Mm-hmm. So he had a subject matter expert. It was actually around physics. Whew, all over my head, I can tell you. I was sitting there nodding away, thinking he's going to catch me out here. I know physics was the only science subject I failed. But anyway, I was sitting there going, how did I end up here? And we were able to take that SME content and do, again, a whole lot of research into the papers and the questions and pull apart the questions. What are the structure to the questions for the paper? How does this one SME question that was written, how does that fit into the exam paper? And then clone that SME question for the 7 different topics that are going to be there. And we literally did that in about 30 minutes. We were then able to put that information into an AI that was able to write the structure of a published ebook that also had questions that follow on from that. And our session was 2 hours, and we literally created a publication in 2 hours.
And if they were to do that from scratch as a human, how long would that have taken?
Well, the SME, the subject matter expert who did the one question, said it took him 2 to 3 hours to write that one question. And our trained AI, I'll just re-clarify, our trained AI, we did 5 questions at a time because we wanted to make sure it was staying on point. And we ended up with 15 questions. We did 5 at a time. 2 minutes?
Wow.
2 minutes. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Give me one more example.
Oh, what's another fun one? Well, this is a real time-saving one. So an interior designer that I'm working with, she does showrooms and show homes or new builds, and she will get a plan, and in that plan will have where all the power sockets are, where all the light switches are, anything else structurally, so that she has to plan around. And that process of looking at that document and recording all of the facility bits, I guess you can call them, for each of the room. I mean, some of these are big apartments. Some of them are like 6 different rooms per department, and there's 10 in a block. She said it would take her half a day. So we managed to vibe code. So again,
Right.
human.
Vibe code.
Yes.
What's vibe coding?
Human talks to an AI agent who is able to code a website or an application. It's honestly so easy. The best platform for this is called aistudio.google.com. And there's a whole lot of, actually, I need to give you another example because it is really good. It gives you a whole lot of applications that you can clone, so you can remix, or you can just build yourself, and you as the human just say, this is what I want to build. So I literally interviewed her, again, raw data, really important. Interviewed her, took that transcript, popped that into aistudio.google.com, and it built an application. So all she does now is upload the floor plans, and it produces all the data that she needs out of that. So it's taken half a day, and it takes about 10 minutes max.
Wow, that's
going
huge.
back and forth.
What was the other example?
Okay, so at an events company yesterday, so crazy. She said, we talked about bottlenecks, right? Well, what's the thing that takes you the longest? We have a sales meeting every Monday, and we've tried different recordings, but everybody's talking. They tried voice memo on their phone, but everyone's talking, and it couldn't quite pick it all up. And then I've got to take the transcript. I do put it into Gemini, but we can't quite get the structure. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me, how do you want your meeting notes to be formatted? And she said, I need X, Y, Z. I'm like, okay, great. And she said, and I said, do you know the same people that are going to be there? She said, yep, here are the same people. I'm like, okay, can you give me your KPIs for the quarter, for the month, or whatever? She's like, yep, here we go. Perfect. We go into aistudio.google.com, and there is a app already in there called EcoScript. And EcoScript is just a meeting recording. So all it is it comes up on your screen, you just press record, everybody talks, it creates the transcript, and then you just copy the transcript. But what we did is we took that, we remixed it, and I put just the details that she told me about what she needs in there. She did, actually, because I didn't build anything, she did it. And she pressed send, and all of a sudden it recreated it. So we vibe coded, and then she saved that, shared that with her team. And then now we tested it there, pressed record. They're all chatting away, talking about some of the projects they've got coming up. She finished, pressed send. She gets the transcript in exactly the format that she needed.
Amazing.
With the priorities, with you didn't touch on these from your KPIs, and with next action steps, like that.
So not only saving time, but also just the clarity and superb. Marnie, thank you so much. I've got one last question to ask you. It's a question that we ask everybody at the end of the pod. You know it's coming. The title is called Lead with Curiosity. So I'm interested to find out from your perspective, what are you curious about learning next?
Yeah, so I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole because I am writing a book.
Well,
let me clarify. Let me clarify.
Are you or is someone else?
Exactly. I'm transcribing a book. So I am verbally talking to a AI that's recording my voice. And that's how I'm going to write my book. Anyway, it is the mindset of AI 2027. So I'm really curious at the moment. I'm going down a rabbit hole of what has been the mindset and behavior shifts we have needed as a society that have worked through all of, when I say all, I've started from the 1900s, of our tech revolutions, from the horses to the trains, to the cars, to the planes, to manufacturing, to the internet, to social media, and now to AI. And I never thought that I would love history, but I am absolutely loving history.
More than physics.
Yeah, more than physics, 100% more than physics. And I'm just mind blown at, one, the ability for me to use AI to extract this information and to help me analyze it. And I'm a visual learner. Like, I'm a games athlete. My brain just thinks things in gamification. So again, I'm using AI, Notebook LM. If anyone is curious, it's the most amazing app. I'm using Notebook LM to help me visualize, mind map, and even listen to some of the content that I'm getting away, and help me put my thoughts and my perspective on this content so that I know that my book's authentic and it's my opinions and futuristic kind of direction of what mindset I think we as society need for AI 2027.
Sounds like an amazing book. When can we expect to be able to see that? Putting the pressure on you.
I already am sweating about that. My publisher needs it by the beginning of July for a launch date of end of September, middle of October at the latest.
Superb. Well, listen, I wish you all the very best with that. Your knowledge, your insight, your passion has really shone through. I'm so grateful to you for your time. Marnie, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Okay, so my thanks again to Marnie for joining us today. There were some real takeaways. One of the ones for me was thinking of AI as a co-worker. There's so much jargon that goes around with AI, but thinking of having a co-worker and training that co-worker to act and think and work like you would, just as you would take on a new starter in your business at a fraction of the cost. And I think for me, the opportunities to use these are endless. So really hope you enjoy the episode. We've got some information in the show notes to find out a little bit more about Marnie and how you can work with her. Thanks as always for listening, and please don't forget to hit the follow button if you've not already done so.